Hey, I heard you were feeling a little lonely, so I wanted to see how you were doing and just check in on you. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to feel a little lonely. Loneliness is such a tricky emotion, right? It's not fun. It's not fun though. But it's okay that you feel lonely. It's a normal emotion to feel. I get lonely all the time. And I think in today's world, it's probably easier to feel that way just because you know, everything is like digital these days and everyone's on their phones all the time. And especially after COVID, when there was just so much separation and isolation, like we're just not built that way. As human beings, we're just not, we're built for connection, where we really thrive. And it can be tricky too if you're feeling anxious or you're just not really feeling like being around people, but also you don't want to feel lonely either. So it's this sort of catch 22 of wanting to not feel alone, but also not really wanting to be around people. And it feels so complicated sometimes, right? I get that. I definitely get that. And it's okay to feel it. I'm not here to try to, you know, make you fix it or try to make that feeling go away. I know it's not a fun feeling to feel lonely, and it's definitely not something that I want you to have to feel, but it's also okay that you feel that. You're not alone, but me saying that isn't going to change how you feel. You know what helps me sometimes, though? Instead of feeling like you have to fix it or that you have to change it, that you have to figure out some solution towards it to make the feeling go away, I'll just sit here with you while you feel it. I'll just stay right here with you. And you can just let yourself feel it. It's safe for you to feel it right now. Sometimes, when you're feeling really lonely, it's gonna sound weird and maybe a little counterintuitive, but sometimes the best thing you can do is just put your hand on your heart and just admit it. Like, just say it out loud. Just say, God, I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely, and it's really painful and hurtful, and sometimes it makes me want to cry, and it doesn't feel good, and I don't always know what to do about it, but I feel really lonely right now. And I'm seeing everyone else do all these fun things with their friends or their partners or their people, and I'm just here, and it makes me feel really lonely and disconnected. I don't like feeling this way. And you don't have to do anything to fix it. Just let yourself feel it. I'll be right here with you. Just let yourself feel it all. Just admit it to yourself, and it's okay. Don't try to think your way out of it or reason your way out of it or busy yourself out of it. Just put your hand on your heart and just admit what you're feeling. Just say it out loud. Use your voice to just say the feelings out loud. And you know what's really interesting? Whenever you do that, or when I do that sometimes, I feel less alone after I admit it. It's almost like what I needed was just to sit with my feelings and connect with myself. Or just admit it to somebody like me, and I'll just sit here with you. We'll sit through it together, and it's okay. It's weird sometimes, right? Like, in our age of social media, just sometimes can seem like everyone else is doing so many amazing, fun things, and this feeling like you're not living life to your full potential, or there's so much more you could be doing, and seeing everyone's highlight reel. But everyone's going through their own stuff, and not everyone's willing to admit it or talk about it. So just being able to admit how you're feeling and it being okay is really amazing. And loneliness is a really difficult feeling to feel. It's a really painful feeling to feel, right? It doesn't feel good. Because it's almost very like unnatural sometimes, I think, for us to feel loneliness. Because we're just so hardwired for connection. And, I'm sure lots of people can say, oh, it's because of this, that feeling of loneliness is because of this. I'm certainly one of those people who have tried to, you know, do all the therapy and thinking and reasoning and all that stuff to try to get into this feeling of where does this feeling of loneliness come from inside of me sometimes. And it's not always there, sometimes we feel connected and other times we just have this deep sense of loneliness inside of us. And where does that come from and what does it mean? Am I disconnected from my inner child? Was I separated from my mother in the hospital at birth? And this is from that. Is it from, there's so much that you can try to pinpoint it to and go back in time, but I don't think any of that's necessary. I think everything you need is right here in this present moment. Everything you need to heal anything is right here in this present moment. And I think the first thing you can do is just give yourself that love and affection. And if you are feeling really lonely right now, let yourself feel that feeling and just say it out loud and know that it's okay. And if it's scary to say it out loud, one thing you can do that sometimes I do all the time is, EFT tapping? Have you ever heard of it? Emotional freedom technique tapping. Well, you don't have to do the whole thing. There's plenty of videos on it, and maybe I'll make one day too. But it's a tapping sequence you can do to help take away that fear response in your body and allow yourself to feel emotions. Sometimes, if there's a really difficult one to feel, though, like anxiety or like a painful one like loneliness or grief, the easy thing you can do is you take your hand and you take 3 or 4 of your fingers and you just tap right on the side of your hand. They call it like the karate chop spot. And you just tap. Just tap a few times and then just say out loud the feeling that you're feeling. Just, I feel so lonely right now. I feel super alone right now. And I don't know what to do about it. I feel like I have no friends. I feel like I'm just alone all the time. And I feel like everyone else is doing all these other things and is so connected and has all these people and these close relationships and these best friends. And here I am by myself and I just feel so lonely sometimes. Just feel so lonely sometimes. And then take a deep breath. This feeling of loneliness. And just keep tapping through just this feeling of loneliness. And I don't know where it comes from. And I don't always know what it means. But I know it won't kill me. I know that it's safe to feel it. I know that I'll be okay. I know that I'll ride this wave out and feel better once it's passed. And when I feel better, Maybe I can do some things to connect with myself, connect with others. And I don't even necessarily have to connect with them in person if I don't feel comfortable yet. Maybe I can write them a letter, like a handwritten one, like the old times. Maybe I can look at some photos of an old photo album to remember how wonderful those relationships were. And to know that, hey, I had great relationships in the past. That must mean that there's new ones coming. Just allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself. And when you get really good at being vulnerable with yourself, you'll feel brave enough to open up to other people. But I understand that in our day and age, it can be really tricky making connections, especially with working remotely and, you know, after COVID and all the isolation, and life just is different than it used to be for a lot of people. I know it's felt like for me, my world's gotten a lot smaller, and it's been tricky because I've, you know, some relationships that I thought were always going to be there have sort of fizzled away a little bit. And that can make me feel really lonely sometimes and nostalgic for the past. And it can be sad sometimes. And that's okay. Feel it. Just let yourself feel all of it and don't be afraid. And I will be right here with you as you feel it all, even loneliness, even the pain of loneliness. And I'm not going to try to make you feel any other way. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't feel that way, because your feelings are always valid. Your emotions are always worthwhile. You are important. And so everything you think, feel, experience, do, everything about you is important, including this feeling of loneliness. And I'll be right here with you to ride out the waves as always and remind you of your value. I'm proud of you. I'm always proud of you. Even in those moments that you're not proud of yourself, you're here. Being alive sometimes is hard. Being human sometimes is hard. I'm proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. And even if it's not necessarily what you want to hear right now, I will tell you, you are not alone. Even if you feel the opposite right now, you are never alone. There are people who care about you. There are people you haven't even met yet who are literally waiting and anticipating to meet you. Connections that you literally have no conscious idea of, waiting for you in the future. Think about it. New friends, new connections, maybe coworkers, maybe new lovers, maybe new family members, maybe even new animals and pets that you don't even know about yet are just waiting for you. Like they're exciting and anticipating the day that they get to meet you. Like that's amazing. You're never alone. You're always connected. We are always connected. That's what brought you here. You're connected to everyone you've ever met. You're connected to your ancestors. You're connected to your family. You're connected to your future family and your future ancestors, because ancestors aren't just the past, There's ones you haven't even met yet, and you're going to be an ancestor to somebody else, and all of that. The connections run deep in so many ways. You're never alone. You're always guided. You're always connected. You're always protected. You're always loved. You're always valued. You're always cherished. And you always have people in your life who care about you and love you, people you haven't even met who on a soul level care about you and love you and can't wait to meet you one day. So trust that. Feel it in your body, feel it in your soul, feel it in your heart, because it's true. You are here. The fact that you are here makes it true. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't true. You wouldn't be here if there weren't people who needed you, who loved you and care about you. Even if you right now can't think of any, then they're in your future. Then those people are in your future, and that's why you're here. You just haven't met them yet. But the very fact that you are here is proof that you're not alone and that you are connected to people in so many different ways, that you're valued, that you matter, that you're important, and that you've got something really unique and special to offer this world. And specifically, to offer the people that you are connected to, both past, present, and future. So it's okay if you feel alone right now, because it doesn't change the fact that you're not alone. It's just a feeling that you're feeling. I'm really grateful for you, and I'm really proud of you. And I'm really, really, really lucky that you're here. I hope this helped. It's okay if it didn't. It's okay if you're still feeling really lonely. There's nothing wrong with that. But I hope this helped in some way. And yeah, I love getting to spend time with you. And I'm really grateful that you have decided to spend time with me. That makes me feel really connected and really purposeful and valued. So I hope you feel valued as well. All right. Well, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your evening if it's nighttime. I'm really excited for the next time I get to see you and we get to spend time together. And remember, you're never alone.